Oh, hi, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and take two. We're going to try again. Just to let you know, there are big computer problems going on, and apparently I'm not the only one having them. Jody tells me that she is as well. And for those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin. So a very happy Christmas weekend to you all. And I wanted to let you know that the subject today is blessings. And, when I tried to think about what was the one word to best describe my week, it was how blessed I was. And so I want you all to be aware that we have these incredible blessings, and that basically it is really important for us not to lose sight of that, especially at this time of year. Now, I'm just aware that we might have to wait a little bit for everybody to find their place, because I shifted the link. So I'm just going to say that I am aware that there's some birthdays coming up. I know that it's Max's birthday, starting on the 24th every year. And then on Christmas Day, we also, other than Jesus, we also have Yvonne's birthday. And then on Boxing Day, as we call it in some places, which is December the 26th, the day after Christmas, we have, for those of you who go back a long way, that was Glenn's birthday and presumably still is. So as we move into this weekend, I know that it's really busy for so many of you, and I'm hoping that you are ahead of the game. Hi, Jody. Good to see you there. Thank you for being there. It's interesting because it has been actually a very pleasant, quiet week for me in a lot of ways. And now I go to do the broadcast, and I make up for it. So there we go. But the wonderful thing that I am so blessed with is wonderful viewers who understand that these things happen and don't punish me for them. And I'm very, very grateful for that. So I think part of my problem, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's causing the problem, but we have it. So, so be it, right? And so if I suddenly nuke out again, you will know it's not my intent, and that for some reason there is stuff going on about which I have no knowledge. So here we go. I wanted to say that if my word for the week is blessed, what is your feeling for the week? Jody, what about you? How are you feeling? And let's have an update on your health, if we can, while we're at it, because I know a lot of the viewers are very aware of your health and want to be updated. With just 3 days to go until Christmas, and I'm pleased to tell you only 88 until spring, because you know that I don't do this winter at all. I do want to say that if I've missed your birthday, then we've not got it on our database, and in which case, please let me know. Here we go. Let's think about this. Jody's saying, oh, that's very kind of you. Jody's left a note on the other stream to tell people that we've started on this stream. Thank you so much, Jody, for thinking of that. You are just a wonder, and I don't even want to know what I would ever do without you, for you, the way that you think ahead on things. So what I was thinking about all the things I was blessed with, and I was thinking about how blessed I am to be warm. How about you guys? How blessed I am to have food in my fridge, and an overflowing fridge, and an overflowing freezer underneath my fridge, and then an overflowing dirty great, put in a couple of bodies type freezer in the middle of my house. And, I was thinking, I don't want to forget how blessed I am to have those things. And then how blessed I am to be as healthy as I am. When we think about, what happened in the last year, I got cancer and all sorts of stuff. So how happy I am to be as healthy as I am. And I'm, again, how happy I am that Jodie is still with us, with all that she went through, or that, all of us, it's been an incredible year for a lot of us. And some of us have experienced great loss. Some of us have experienced great joy and great sadness, right? And we're all still together. And I'm so happy for that. I cannot tell you how blessed I feel about that. And because it is you and your support of the channel, the course keeps me strong. And I really thank you for that in big ways. So how are you feeling? I was thinking, other than blessed, I'm feeling quite relaxed. Well, I was until I tried to sign on today. Strange. Oh, Jodie's saying she's feeling tired. Yes, I agree with you. But the infection seems to be slowly starting to improve. For those of you who don't know, Jodie underwent an operation and then ended up with an infection on one of the incisions. She had multiple incisions that they did, and one of them got infected and it blew up her side. She said it was like carrying a pillow. She spent a lot of time thinking of our blessings and the beautiful way to reframe some of the holiday stress. Yes. And that's what I really want to say, that don't lose sight of your blessings, and that it's not about impressing anybody. It is about just having fun and relaxing and being grateful for the people around us and the ones that still love us through thick and thin. And for that, I certainly am very, very grateful. And I wonder whether you watched any movies that you enjoyed this week. And if so, have you been watching Christmas movies, or what have you been watching? You can't believe it. My tablet now doesn't want to open Google. Can you believe this? There's something really weird going on. Actually, I got it back now, but something really weird going on. No doubt about it. So I ended up this week watching a movie which you might have seen advertised on Netflix called The Bank of Dave. And if you get a chance, it's a wonderful David and Goliath story. And it's true. And, to me, I don't know, I love those David and Goliath stories, and especially when they're true. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then last night, for some reason, I ended up watching Pride and Prejudice for the 348th time. And I kept thinking, why did I suddenly want to watch that? And I always think that's because it's such a beautiful movie. And the question is, which version, right? Because there are many versions of it. I personally, it's a very personal thing. I personally love the version with Matthew. Oh, gosh. It'll come to me. And Keira Knightley. Why on earth? McFadden. Matthew McFadden. Keira Knightley. I think those two together were just perfect casting. And, his Darcy just blew me away. And, given a choice, I always like to watch that. And I ended up just deciding I wasn't going to watch a Christmas movie. I really wanted to watch that again. So Jodie's saying, I've been watching Christmas movies, some favorites, Christmas Vacation and Home Alone. Yeah, it's wonderful, the ones that people like to watch, all right, at this time of the year. I will definitely be watching Love Actually. And I couldn't help thinking that, Now, I printed out a piece of paper that I wanted to share with you, and I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, Matthew McFadden. But I ended up, I was always surprised that Love Actually ended up being such a classic movie, because when I first saw it, I didn't think it was necessarily that good. But then I noticed that every Christmas I want to revisit it. So there must be something. And The Holiday, I don't know about you, but the movie The Holiday, I always like to watch at this time. You know, the romantic in me loves those two, no doubt about it. And you know, it's interesting because I had a look at, you know, what were the greatest grossing, and I wonder if I can just do that without blowing up this computer. Just bear with me and see if I can. The greatest grossing Christmas movies, and I did have that list. Hang on. Because it was surprising to me. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Jodie's saying she likes The Bishop's Wife. Yes, I remember that. And Christmas in Connecticut. Haven't seen that. Hi, Iz. Good to see that you got us live. That's wonderful. So I think when we look at the greatest, the highest rated Christmas films of all time, it is sort of like not, I don't know. Let me see if I got them here. Yes, The Grinch was the highest grossing. Can you believe that? So, you know, that surprised me. What about you? The second was Home Alone. I bet you when they made it, they never dreamt it was going to make $500 million. Now, how many of you watch Alvin and the Chipmunks? Because that comes in number 3. And then Home Alone 2 comes in number 4. Now, you've got to think about the fact that regardless, if he never acted again, you know, I'm certain the residuals that he gets must be just incredible. Dr. Seuss on How the Grinch Stole Christmas, number 5. A Christmas Carol came in 6. Polar Express 7. Love Actually 8. Any of you like watching Elf? That came in 9. And then The Holiday, one of my favorites, 10. Now, what surprised me, it's time to see here, this doesn't have the classics in it. Anyway, but there we go. I'm pretty certain that It's a Wonderful Life and what's the other one? 34th Street Miracle on 34th Street. They should be in there. So I'm not sure if I like this particular list. And the list I had them in. So, but you know what I mean? It's just like they're surprising, some of these. Which ones were favorite? And while I'm thinking about it, what's your favorite Christmas song or carol? You know, because it's really important to play to those at this time. And when you have Christmas dinner, what do you have music playing? And if so, what do you have? Do you have Christmas songs playing or Christmas carols playing? You know, it's all very interesting what people do. I was surprised this week, if any of you were surprised, but I was surprised this week to find out that fast fashion, yes, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation came in as well. Yep. Oh, this is amazing. All right. You know, it's like these movies are very, very special, and I think they're very particular to families. All right. So one will like this movie and one family another, and that's really part of what it's all about. And I don't care how many times you've seen the movie. I was thinking about, really, how many times have I seen Pride and Prejudice? It's not a few, it's a lot. And why would I choose to see that now? It makes me feel good. All right, because it's so human. in so many ways. Going back to fast fashion, did you know that fast fashion is the second biggest polluter after gas? Right? The world's second largest polluter is fashion. So I was thinking this Christmas time, once it's over, how about go into your closet, find anything that's warm that you haven't worn for a year, and give it away. All right, get rid of some of that. Don't throw it in the garbage, whatever. Cut it up for rags if you must, but really there are an awful lot of homeless people that are cold. So give it away. Put it in the local church bin. Do whatever. You don't need that much. I was busy. Jody just texted me before the broadcast and said, am I wearing my Christmas sweater? I've got a plaid Christmas sweater that I wear every year, a cardigan. Do you think I could find it? So if I can find it by New Year, I will wear it. It's just like I went to wear them. I've got all my cardigans together, different colors. It's not there. I must have folded it, but I can't. I looked at where my folded sweaters are. So it's in a bin somewhere, that I haven't unpacked for winter clothes. So really strange. And I look at it and go, of all these things in our lives, may the blessings of this day radiate through your smile, be helpful through your hands, and shine through your heart. Isn't that true? I was feeling prepared this week. What about you? I'm more prepared than I expected in a lot of ways until I went to do the broadcast, because, I shopped all year, and that was, an amazing thing. And I realized that because I am creative, and I'll talk about that in a second, that even if I get some surprises, I've got enough soaps and Christmas villages to cover off any surprises. So I was really happy about that. And I'm delighted to say that people started getting my gingerbread house Christmas cards. And so far, the reaction has been stellar. So I'm happy that card made other people as happy as it made me. Blessed is he, obviously a long time ago quote, who has learned to admire but not envy, learned to follow but not imitate, learn to praise but not flatter, and lead but not manipulate. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that true? So I feel very grateful for visitors, and I wanted to say that I had Siora come visit me yesterday, and you all know Siora comes to help me with my garden and other tasks that I'm not able to do. And she came to visit, and she absolutely spoiled me. Let me think. What did she bring with her? I thought this was so cute. She brought this beautiful little heart for my Christmas tree. So that can go on the tree now. I said, I can't put it on the tree yet. The peeps will want to see it. So isn't that beautiful? It's made of leather, I think. Oh, no? Not sure what it's made of. Anyway, it's very pretty. Then she also bought me, very sad. What did I do with it? She also bought me a bracelet, but unfortunately it broke yesterday. So I've got it. It broke all over my bathroom floor. So what I did was I collected as many bits as I could. So, and now I'm going to find some elastic and rethread it. She also bought me some really nice pomegranate herbal body moisturizer, all body, with hemp in it. And I want to tell you the aroma from that is amazing. A beautiful card. Oh, and some chocolates that will go on my Christmas table. So, but we got to sit and just chat, whereas I got to know her a little bit better and, her history a little bit better, which made me very happy. And so I was talking to her, about how important it is, for us all to take that moment and just reconnect at that level. It's so important. Now, I felt both grateful for Siora coming, but then surprise upon surprise, for those of you who know my adopted family, I cannot, I don't want to say I can't believe, because I can believe. I'm just so blessed that for the first time ever, Yvonne, Wade, and Doug are all available on Christmas Day, and made a point of saying that they were coming. And to me, that was just like the greatest gift anybody could give me, was for those three people who I know care about me deeply, all to be available so that, we can feed them. And, it's just takes a lot of the stress off as well, because they are family, which means when they walk in the door, they're going to have jobs to do. Because I've decided I'm not going to stress out. I'm just going to enjoy this incredible moment. And, I'll do whatever I can. But after that, they're going to all muck in and we'll have a family type Christmas meal. So I'm really looking forward to that. I felt both joy and sadness this week about the fact, I thought I'd show you my Christmas setting. Can you see that? So I've got silver crackers, and then I've got blue placemats, and then silver charger plates. Got it? Then my deep blue plates, and then I was thinking about, I really want a different sort of look for napkins, and I didn't want the yellow. So I wanted something a bit richer than that. So I saw this advertisement for a Black Watch tartan napkins, and I thought, oh, that would go so well with the blue. So the question that I have is, because you guys are very creative, do you like it with the red napkin, or should it be the silver napkin ring? What do you think? I actually think the red looks more festive. There you go, the red one, or the silver. So I'm leaning towards the red, even though everything else is silver. I think it just has a pop of color to it. Now, my sadness, the silver matches, I agree, but the red sort of makes it look more festive to me. Well, here's the next thing. When the, Jody's saying the pop of color as well. Okay, so when the napkins arrived, they said they came in a roll, and I thought, that's weird, but hey. And it comes like this. And when I saw this, I thought, oh no, because they are only this big. But is that big enough to be a napkin? Of course it is. But it's not hemmed in any way. So washing it's a major problem. I'd have to very carefully hand wash these and just let them dry flat, because otherwise they will just, completely shred. So I may have to get out the sewing machine and edge them after Christmas sometime. Yeah, right. Just get new ones. But I really like the Black Watch tartan. I really like the look of that. So that was a disappointment to me. The other thing that I got was I wanted to have a gravy boat that would keep the gravy warm. So I ordered up a thermal gravy boat, right? Like that. The problem is there is a piece of stainless steel here that they didn't secure properly, and it literally, before I realized what it was, I was bleeding profusely from my finger. So this has got to go back. Very sad, but it's not going back until after I've used it on Christmas Day. I've covered it up with some very stainless steel type, what do you call it? Duct tape. And then it's going back after Christmas. So, that was sort of exciting because of the yes, I like the thing, the black watch. So now I may just do what my sister did, which is order up some black watch tartan material and then make the right size napkins ready for next year. So that's what I'm thinking. Learn to value your blessings. I want to tell you that I am blessed that it looks as nice as it does. That's just my feeling. So the next thing was, did any of you feel creative this week? Because I don't know what got into me. As busy as I have been, I suddenly got this one day that I suddenly was busy being creative and doing stuff that really weren't essential to the week. And I thought, well, obviously there's that part of my brain that wants to be doing something creative. So what did I do? For those of you who don't know, I make Christmas houses that look like this. Okay. And you will remember that I found this ideal packaging for little sets like that. Actually, I like that very much, just that grouping. But what I did was I made a foil house. How about that? Thought that was a nice change. All right. And for now, the other thing is, the reason it's really important to have visitors come is it's amazing what you can learn if you watch visitors see your creativity. And it's amazing what they say that triggers stuff, and you go, that's a good point. So when Marnie and Marie came last week, I gave them a box with that group 1 Christmas village, right? So I gave them the box and I said, okay, just so you know, this is group 1. Then I noticed that Marnie's mom saw this grouping, all right, somewhere, and said, oh, that is so pretty. How do I get that? And I said, it's in the box. She said, what? I said, that's what's in the box. All of that. And I realized I need to put a picture on here. Even though there's a picture inside, I need to put a picture on the outside. So what do you think? Creative? No doubt now what's in the box, all right? That's what's in the box. So big thank you for being able to be there to watch her confusion when she didn't realize. So another little extra step, but well worth it. So anybody else, were you creative? I also made some very dangerous for me. I made chocolates this week. And if I show you, I will have touched them, so I need to eat them. So here we go. I made some chocolate pecans. I'll put that right there. That's so good. I made some, this is peppermint cream cheese. See the peppermint in there? Bits of candy cane. The same thing, but with butterscotch. And now I'm going to close the bag. I'm not going to show you because I don't want to eat too many. But I'm going to eat some. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to just have a little, you remember Marnie and Marie brought me this candy bowl. So I will put Ciora's chocolates in there along with the ones that I've handmade, and that'll be on my Christmas table. What do you think? Nice. Whoever thought that cream cheese chocolate would taste good? It does. Well, hi to Nick and Trudy, Trina. I think it begins with Tina. Tina, I think. Anyway, they're just saying hello. That's so cute. Thank you so much. So, really good. There's something about making your own chocolates. By the way, that one I just ate, I just made it an ice cube chair. Linda, there you go. UK Linda. And Nicholas, of course. Well, big hugs. I should not be talking with my mouth full, but I am. Here we go. So, my biggest problem is I love making chocolates, and people love receiving them. Somewhere in my house, I bought tins to put them in. Can't find them yet. The other thing is, there is this terrible business between having them made and getting them to the people that are meant to receive them, because they are so good that unfortunately I'm inclined to eat them before they ever get them, which is not good for me. But hello, I'm human. Now, I felt horrified this week. Did any of you feel horrified at anything this week? The reason I felt horrified... Hi, Andrea. Good to see you. Hi to the family in Berlin. Isn't that wonderful? Well, south of Berlin, I think you are. So, hi to the family in Germany. Go back so far, right? So, to me, it's just lovely that you guys pop in on the Christmas broadcast, and it's just like magical to me. So thank you so much for being my family around the world. So grateful for that. Anyway, I was going to tell you about this. I felt horrified this week. I went to go and get more test strips. I'm pre-diabetic, so I keep and eating chocolate. So I try to keep check on what my blood sugar's doing. And to replace my blood sugar things, I went to the pharmacy because I couldn't find them where I normally get them. And it was like, I had to pay 176 Canadian dollars for 2 lots of less than 100, I think, than 90 or so. So, I mean, this was just like, really? I was horrified at that. They used to be 60 something. So be aware that the supply chain issues are definitely having a lot of impact, not a little, a lot of impact. So I just went, wow, that's really weird that's happening. Have any of you found any, sort of horrific price increases as you were going about your business this week? To me, it was just like, wow, can you believe that's just like up $20 at least in the last year? So weird. Going back to feeling organized, this is something that I have done now. I'm into the last 3 days, and I'm going out for dinner on Christmas Eve. So I know it sounds strange, but I really have to think and plan out what I'm doing. I think Jody would agree with me on this one. When you get older or when you're not well, you have to really plan things out so you don't overstress yourself. And so literally, I'm not even doing a turkey. Yeah, that's coming. Yvonne's bringing the turkey. And so what I'm doing is tomorrow, this afternoon, I will probably prep a couple of things. Like, for example, the Brussels sprouts. I can, trim those down and get them fresh, nice and clean, and then have those ready. I'm thinking of grilling them this year. But they always look so nice. I just like the green of when they are steamed. So what do you think? Which would you prefer? I'm thinking, yeah, grilled with balsamic vinegar and yeah, whatever. Then I'm going to do glazed carrots with maple syrup. Of course, we're Canadian. Yeah. What other vegetable? Grilled mashed potatoes. There's something about it being crunchy that makes it taste better. I don't know why that is. And then the other thing I'm going to do, let me think. Oh, I'm going to do, make my own stuffing. So, and I'm not going to do stuffing flat. I'm going to make balls of stuffing. So that I can pretty much prep beforehand. I think I can prep the carrots beforehand as well. I can do it. I can do a lot of this on Saturday and Sunday, and then just warm them up on Monday. So that's what I'm thinking. Gravy is pretty, I can get all that made and then just, literally put it in a mason jar, big mason jar, and just warm it up on Monday. So that's good. Cranberry sauce. I've got the cranberries. I forgot to get cranberry sauce, so I got to make some cranberry sauce. Thank you for mentioning that, Sal. Let me write that down before I forget. So there we go. And I really recommend having a whiteboard in your kitchen. So, but overall, I feel pretty organized. I'm hoping the wheels don't come off that. And I really just sort of said, bring whatever you want to drink. I reckon that would make it easier. So I look at it and go, I'm really trying to keep it simple. I'm also feeling a bit frugal this week feeling. The reason I say that is some of you will know that I'm on a program with my electrical company, a supplier. I'm trying to save electricity. And it's really interesting that I'm doing pretty well with it at the moment. I'm waiting to see if I made it in the last run. Every now and then they send me an email and say, between the hours of 6 and 9, try and save 20%. Basically, I've done it every time. I'm not sure about it did the last time because I haven't got the email yet. But basically, it's easier to do than you think. Just turn things off and sit and watch television, and you'll be amazed at how much it saves. So, and so far, I think I've made I saved myself about $10, I think, doing that. So interesting to do that experiment. I've never done it before, not in previous years, but it's what I'm doing. Have any of you heard about the situation that's going on in the Red Sea? And I wanted to mention that because it's going to affect us all. For those of you who don't know, wait a minute, I need a whiteboard. So that means I've got to leave that note I wrote myself somewhere else. I can do that. Okay, here we go. We are going to do that, and then I'm going to get my whiteboard clean so I can draw this for you. There we go. Okay. So, let me try and think. For those of you who don't know where the Red Sea is, okay, we're going to presume that this is England up here, and then you've got Europe here, And then you've got Spain and the Mediterranean, like this. Okay, and then Africa starts here. Now, the Red Sea, okay, and this is Saudi Arabia here. The Red Sea and Yemen and everything is this channel that they built. This is Egypt. Okay, so that's Egypt, and they built this channel. Actually, I made that look far too big. It's sort of like this. They built this canal here to save ships coming from the east, going all the way around the bottom of Africa and up to Europe. They built this so they could come up through the Mediterranean and in. Now, what's happened is, sorry, just a bit of news here. What's happening is there are a lot of terrorists that are attacking the ships in the Red Sea. And it's so bad that a lot of supply companies are stopping their ships from even going into the Red Sea. They're making them go all the way around the Horn of Africa. So the question that I have is, can you imagine how much extra that's going to cost them? To, instead of taking the short route, they've got to take a really long, circuitous route now. Not only that, the time it's going to take. So two factors. It's going to cost them a lot more, and it's going to take them way more time. And so therefore, the reason I'm mentioning this to you, as I try to do whenever I see anything that I think will affect you, this will affect the supply chain. Anything that you would normally have coming in via Europe into North America will be delayed. If you live in Europe, expect almost everything that comes from the east to be delayed. So, and more expensive. So it could be a lot more expensive as well. So just be aware of that. The other thing is, it's just like, how many more places are going to be troublesome? Right? And so I look at it and go, can it be Christmas and be perfect? No. I think it's really important. Okay, interesting. Jeannie is saying, if our government wants, we can stop much of this. How do you think the U.S. government, because you're in the U.S., how do you think the U.S. government could stop the trouble in the Red Sea, when already they are trying to stop the trouble in two other areas? I mean, how much, and my feeling is this, Jeannie, how much will the American people tolerate, right? They're already supporting the Ukraine situation. They're already, supporting the Israeli situation. Do you really think that the American populace is going to have the stomach to now support a third one? I don't think so. But I'm interested in your view and what you think could happen if the government wanted to, unquote. It's an interesting comment. So I'm hoping that you've got the solution. It would be wonderful. Because I actually thought the opposite. I thought, it's a bridge too far almost. I didn't think that they would be able to do that. Now, it is going to be a magical Christmas for us if we can understand that the yin and yang, right? We cannot ignore the negative things that happen in the world as well as enjoy the good stuff, right? It's like night and day. You've got to enjoy the night to be able to enjoy the day. Jody, I think, will tell you about pain, all right? She knows a lot about pain, and you've got to take the moments where you're fairly pain-free, and value them because, you spend so much time in greater pain. So I look at it and go, just keep aware and don't be ignorant of this. But again, remember that it is so important for us to look at our own community. What joy can you bring to your neighbors, this Christmas? I know Jodi's been telling me about the wonderful care packages now Jodi lives on a shoestring, and she's been giving the most wonderful care packages to, the people who deliver to her, which I think is really beautiful. So, I know Jeannie does a lot of that as well. She gives out food and things, at Christmas. So, but I wonder whether anybody has had anybody refuse it. And I say that because I'm certain it must be quite dangerous for these supply people, that deliver to your door. How do you know what that person has cooked? Or how do you know what I mean? It's just like, it must be really difficult to know who do you accept baking from and who don't you. It's a bit like candy for Halloween, right? So to me, it's like, wow, I got to eat this other chocolate now. Melting. Chocolate pecan, very nice. So I look at it and go, this is a really fun Christmas for me. And it's fun to me because I get to share it with all of you. So I look at this and go, oh, one of the things when Ciora was here, I had some homemade pita, and she said that Kelly, who's watching, always makes her own bread as well, a sourdough bread. So I said to her, the important thing to have is your starter, all right? And some of you know about this. I do this quite regularly. But I said to her, once you got the starter, it really is quite easy. And so I said, let me show you how easy it is. And I literally, while I was talking to her, mixed up some dough, took some starter dough, added some flour and some quinoa and flax and chia, put it all together, showed her how I roll it out, all that stuff. And I said, I'm not even going to let it rise. All right. I'm not even going to let it rise. I'm just going to bake it just so you can see. And it didn't rise like a regular pita, but, it still looks more like naan. And so I said, and that's how easy it is to do it. And I said, how long did it take, start to finish? Other than the baking, it probably took, 15 minutes. So I was thinking, and she just said to me, I can't believe you're just doing it in front of me like this. And I said, well, I want you to see that making your own bread is really easy. Once you start it, it's just like, you can either use yeast or you can make your own starter, which, it's just like, and the funny thing that I found is that people love homemade bread. Really weird. So, it was just like, when I asked what could I bring for Christmas Eve, it was like, you mean other than bread, And probably they won't even put the bread on the table. They will keep it for later. It's the funny thing. But that's, to me, it's like such a simple thing. People like the simple things, right? The other thing that I find is really good to take along for a Christmas dinner is crackers. crackers. People really, like crackers. And there's stupid gifts inside them. But it's not about that. It's the fun of the party hat and stuff like that. Yeah, Jody is saying homemade bread can be intimidating. It's a lost art in so many ways. Well, I think it's a very frugal art. I haven't bought bread since the pandemic, when you think about it. And when did the pandemic start? 2020? I've been making bread ever since the pandemic. That's what I did to occupy my time during the pandemic. So, and I have not bought bread since. When did? And it's like it's not expensive to make your own. But guess what? If those Middle East supply chains are challenged, as they think they are now, getting a lot of supplies are going to be expensive. And so therefore, really good idea to keep learning how to be more self-sufficient. And, I'm constantly trying to be more self-sufficient. And that to me is a gift to myself. Because, part of the reason I have Ciora in my life is to help me downsize my life. I've nearly gone through the whole house now. By the end of the winter, I've been through the shed just about, and now it's time to go through the house one more time. And I am now looking to, I reckon by this time next year, I should be ready should I need to downsize again. And that's what I wanted to do. And, the biggest clutter, the biggest mess, the biggest space is crafts. And that I don't necessarily want to downsize that too much. Jeannie's saying, today she took some soft cream cheese and some Stilton with cranberries. I put them together into a bowl with crackers, to use with crackers. Yes, it's such a nice idea, right? And I bought extra cream cheese for the same reason. I wouldn't use Stilton because not everybody likes Stilton. But, I was thinking I'm going to do mine sort of like a cinnamon cream cheese. It's cranberry. So cranberries in it and then dust it with cinnamon. Any other ideas? What do you like to take to somebody else's house or to give at this time? So, the cheese log is always a good idea, I think. Yeah, Stilton is your favorite. It's my sister's favorite too. And funny enough, I don't like it. So, it's different things for different people, right? Not everybody likes Stilton. So I wouldn't, but then not everybody likes anything. It's like I found out with making soaps. Amazing how many people are allergic to different things when you make soap. Part of life, learn and adapt. But I'm certain it's very, very tasty. So when you look at it and go, how blessed do you really feel? And I'm hoping that it's a great deal. How many of you agree with me that I am actually feel blessed that I made it through this year? Right? And I would say one of the greatest gifts I give myself is that I talk to myself a lot. Yeah. Looney Tunes. So, but I talk to myself a lot about gratitude. I wake up in the morning and I go, I'm glad to wake up. Yeah, I go to the bathroom. I'm glad to be able to do that on my own. I sort of find that I'm very grateful for so many things. And it's like, it just makes my life more enjoyable. If I go, well, 5 years ago, I could do this, that just makes my life miserable. But if I work on the present, I'm grateful to wake up. I really am. By the way, for some reason, I'm sleeping a whole lot more than I used to. But I'm still got the leftover of getting to sleep is a problem for me. But strangely enough, last night, because I stayed up to watch Pride and Prejudice, I just, zonked out. And I was so tired. Janie's saying, she thanks God for everything each night. Yeah, that's part of, to do it once a day. But I try to do it all the time. But that doesn't make it better, Jeannie. It's just the way I do it, right? I literally will look at this and go, I'm grateful that all coordinates and looks pretty, and that I didn't get it all at one time. I keep building on things. Yes. Oh, interesting. Jody's saying, I think the stopping the medication has improved your sleep. Yeah, it's improved the quality of my sleep. So I look at it and go, take time in your busy days, all right, to be grateful and understand how blessed we are. It says you will be blessed the moment you realize you already are. I literally look at it and I feel blessed that I'm not in the pain that Jody's in, or not dealing with the medical issues that Jody's dealing with. And to me, it's just like everything is relative, isn't it? Steve Maraboli said, harnessing the power of today. Seize the blessings of today. Make something happen. Enhance your life. Make somebody laugh. Help a friend. Love, love, love. I just love Steve Maraboli's quotes, right? I've always loved his quotes. And for those of you who remember the singer Cilla Black from England, she said, I have a blessed life. I pull back from trying to control my destiny and gone back to accepting whatever fate has in store for me. I live for today because I don't know what will happen tomorrow. And I look at it and say to myself, I am so grateful that, the core group of Dear Mama Sal people are still around, because we might not have been. And I'm pray that we still will be this time next year if we keep our attitude right and do the right things for our health. Jeannie's saying she had a coupon that said she could buy a cup of clam chowder and get one free. And I bought it. It was so good. I called the restaurant and complimented them. Good. I think you know, Jeannie, that I'm a big believer in reward good behavior. So many people complain. Very few people compliment. And I've always made it a point in my life to compliment as much as possible. And so, I know that you do as well. Is it something that you learned, or that did somebody else in your family do that you learned that skill? Or is it just, who you are as a human? Sometimes we don't realize the blessings we have until we no longer have them. Appreciate all the blessings in your life. Take none for granted. I always say to people that, I used to not like power outages because I would lose electricity, until I came here to live, where because we are on a well, I not only lose electricity, I lose water. And so it made me more conscious of water. And then the other thing is, I've noticed that over the years, as you know, because I talked to you about it, I have brought in more and more lighting into my house that doesn't require electricity. It's battery driven, and I can charge it with a USB. I also bought a small electrical power box, if you like. It's a battery like this that charges up all the time. And so when there is a power outage, I can run my LED light next to my computer. I can run my computer off it. I can charge up my phone with it. So basically, if there's a power outage, I can still, as long as I've got movies downloaded, which I need to remember to do, as long as I got movies downloaded, I can still watch movies. Because I don't need the internet. I've got them on my computer. I can still, use my computer for a long time because it recharges off the battery pack. And then I also have use of everything else. I literally can walk through the whole of my house and it will light up as I walk through it because I have motion detector bars all along the floor. Yeah, every few steps. So as I walk, these turn on. So I don't need that sort of light. Plus, if you think about it, I've got next to my computer, I've got these lights for when I broadcast, but they're very useful in a power outage. I have light in the kitchen because I have a computer with a couple of hours battery in it, and I just turn it on and then turn the lights on. So when I need it. So you look at it and go, you get very crafty. And I really recommend for everybody, consider changing to LED lights because they use far less electricity than your regular one. And every dollar you save that way, you can spend somewhere else, to make up for the supply chain problem and everything else. Janie's saying she learns a lot of this stuff from her husband, Jock, while he was alive. He sounds like he was a wonderful guy. But, you look at it and you go, I listen to the things that Lionel, Jodie's husband, does, and I think, gosh, there's some really good men in the world. How come I only met the others? Maybe. But I also look at it and go, it's funny because I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't met the others. So it's a good idea to just do that. Be grateful. Being blessed is a condition of the heart and a frame of mind. Janie's saying that York made people feel better about themselves. I think that's a very, very delightful gift. Right? If you can meet people, and when you leave, they feel better about themselves, then you have done a very good deed. I think in my day, a lot of people read a lot of Dale Carnegie. And Dale Carnegie was a great believer of bolstering people up. And he reckoned it was the book he wrote, How to Win Friends and Influence People, was about the way you make friends and influence people is you treat them well. All right? And you're interested in them, not in yourself, in them. And when that happens, you get a whole different communication going on. If we should be blessed by some great reward, such as fame or fortune, it's the fruit of the seed planted by us in the past. Nice idea, right? Wasn't by chance. George Best said, when I look back on my life as a whole, it was impossible for me not to feel blessed. I think there's part of me that thinks being famous is both a blessing and a curse. I would not want to be that famous. I don't know about you. The reason is because you can't go out and just walk the streets normally. So I am blessed in a lot of ways that although I was famous in my day, it was like I wasn't famous to that degree. And it was just like, I would hate that. I would hate to have to think about, well, I can't go out wearing my sweats because, I might get paparazzi or whatever. And, let's be honest, that is a modern day curse as well. And, we feed it. We used to, well, in my day, we only had the National Enquirer, and that was bad enough. But, now it's just like we got social media. And whilst it brings us so many blessings, it also is a curse in so many ways. We all want to win more, but it's all about being blessed and embracing our blessings. We have life. And, that is something to be grateful for on a very, very regular basis. Marianne Williamson said, if I choose to bless another person, I will always end up feeling blessed. How many of you found that? If you want to feel better, make somebody else feel better. I know a lot of my viewers do that on a regular basis. And I know that they know that they're not being noble, that they get a reward. And to me, that's just like really important. And Tiger Woods said, if you're lucky enough to have 3 close people in your life, you're blessed. How many of you have at least 3 close people in your life? And if you haven't, the way you get them is to befriend somebody else. Don't sit around waiting for somebody to befriend you. Go out and find another lonely person, and there are plenty of them. I'm thinking, in the community that I live in right now, how many single people are there in the community? And they may or may not have family. And as we know, not all family are friends. And yet some of our friends are family. They're different. A great difference. And so you look at it and go, if you can make your friends, I actually have that saying. Hang on a second. It's funny. Part of the staging for this house when I bought it was this was hanging up, right? Treat your family like friends and your friends like family. And I said, I'd like you to leave it, please. Yeah, as a part of the sale. Would you please leave it? There are a couple of things I asked them to leave. The staging was so pretty in so many ways. And I just said, I want to see that every day. I want to remind myself about that. So it's been with me ever since. So yes, Jeannie, York was really good at doing that. And you picked up on it. But I'm pretty certain you had a lot of it to start with. To find the best comfort, I count my blessings. And Jeff Dixon said, sometimes we focus so much on what we don't have, we fail to see, appreciate, and use what we do have. Right in the middle of getting a bit stressed this week, I said, I'm going to sit down and create. I am so blessed. I have the ability to totally de-stress myself if I just bother to go to Confetti Corner, as I call it, and sit down and turn on my machines and start creating. And then, you look at it and go, it is so important to do that. And then I find when I binge watch, right, I construct. Sometimes, like last night, I just curled up in a ball with my blankie and watched Pride and Prejudice. But normally, I construct things while I binge watch. So I'm very fortunate. Very, very fortunate in so many ways. So as I go into Christmas and continue to hopefully be organized and not overstressed myself, I have a feeling that that is more important to me this year than ever before. And I am not going to push myself too hard. I'm going to work really hard at balance, that I get organized enough that I have time to watch the Christmas movies and to enjoy. Even though I'm going out on Christmas Eve, I want to be prepared enough so that I don't have to get up really early on Christmas Day and do stuff. You know what I mean? That basically I know everything is just about ready. I just have to warm it up. And now here's another question for you. When you think about Christmas dinner, or whenever you have that this year, some of you will have it Christmas Eve, some of you on Christmas Day, but when you have that, how could you minimize the stress of that meal? Can we discuss that? How can you minimize the stress of a Christmas dinner? And I started to think about the fact that I did something really clever this year. I got a second slow cooker. Now, the reason I wanted them was because I make soap, and it's really good. I have liners in them, and the liners are great for, I can put a certain batch of soap, like shear soap or something, into one liner, and then if I want to have different soap, I put a different liner in it. So what I'm going to do now is to say to myself, I've now got 2 slow cookers. What a great way to keep food warm. All right. So instead of a lot of mess, I could, because I just need to warm food up, I can clean out the liners and wash them and properly and everything, and then just keep food warm. Or I can just take the liners out and use the container itself. So, I look at it and go, that was such a good move. And, again, thanks to Ciora, she knew I said to her, if you go to a thrift store or anything and see a good slow cooker, like a second one. And I think a slow cooker is a great thing to have when you are entertaining. Hi, Kimmy. Good to see you. Kimmy, how are you doing? You've been fairly quiet, so while we've got you online, please give us an update so that people will know. So, those who make time for others will be forever blessed. Oh, says my battery's running low. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. I wonder if the other battery thing will work in here. Let me see. No, I don't think so. I think it's the wrong one. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to go because I've unplugged my battery, my computer to do this broadcast, right? All right, so here we go. A vein in your eye popped. I've had that happen. It looks horrible, doesn't it? But you know something? It gets better. I remember I had that happen when I was going down to visit Benji and Judy one time. So, nasty. All right, so Kimmy, I wish you well. If you have more updates, please send them to me, because people do care and like to be kept. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and I hope above all else that you are feeling blessed and that you continue to feel blessed. We are so fortunate to live where we live with the freedoms that we have and the faith that so many of us have that keep us on track. And remember, let's keep looking after each other. Jody, I've got to go. My battery is dying. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you before New Year. We'll see you this time next week. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, Jody.